Good evening. Welcome to the Communities of Giving Legacy Initiatives 2020 Pay It Forward Awards. A few housekeeping items before we get started this evening. When the program begins, we ask that you please use the chat box on your screen to post your congratulatory messages and shout-outs for tonight's honorees. There is also a submission box below the video player for questions and answers. This will come in handy a little later during a live performance that we encourage you to take part in. So stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Clotilde Perez-Bodie-Dedecker, and I am the President and Chief Executive Officer at the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to our first ever virtual Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative Pay It Forward Awards. We have planned an hour packed with inspirational people and performances. Established in 2012, the Pay It Forward Awards recognize personal and professional accomplishments and how those actions increase philanthropy in communities of color. This year is extra special because we were able to highlight individuals who had a significant impact on trailblazing youth of color during the COVID-19 pandemic. We couldn't be more excited about this year's Pay It Forward Award recipients. They are Zandra Cunningham, Tommy McClam, Daniel Robertson, Renee Mapp, and Marilyn Young. On behalf of the CGLI, the Western New York community, and the young adults who you are having an impact on right now, I say thank you, mil gracias, and keep up the great work. You'll hear more about these amazing individuals a little later in our program. But first, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this beautiful performance from the incredibly talented students at the Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts.
begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Wow, so beautiful. Every time I see their performance, I get chills. Thank you to the Residence Jazz Ensemble for that wonderful rendition of Lift Every Voice. I also want to point out that the performance was recorded prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's why the students are standing so close to each other. Now, if you'll indulge me for a moment, I'd like to offer a little background on the Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative. The CGLI is a fund of the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo. The mission of the CGLI is to cultivate positive change in the lives of trailblazing youth of color in Buffalo, Lackawanna, and Niagara Falls. Our dedicated CGLI council members champion this mission through endowment building, engaging strategic partners, and creating intentional community connections. One individual who has played a major role in the continued growth of CGLI is our chair, Dr. Benita Durand. Bonnie and her late husband, Dr. Henry Durand, are true champions for education. They've dedicated their time, treasure, and considerable talent to providing to our youth and to young adults, ensuring that they realize their dreams. The Durands are true givers, even opening up their home to college students who could not afford to travel home for Thanksgiving. And now I am truly honored to turn the virtual floor over to Bonnie as she introduces the first of this year's honorees. Take it away, Bonnie.
Thank you, Clotilde. And I agree, that was an incredibly powerful rendition of Lift Every Voice. I am so proud to serve as the chair of the Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative. Joining me on the council are a group of truly dynamic people, including Michelle Augusto, Ruth Bryant, Tracy Cleveland, Tracy Cardwell, Dennis Gale, Leah Halton Pope, Owen Hearn, Kwanzaa Humphrey, Robert Lowry, Oswaldo Mestry Jr., Derek Parson, and Tanya Staples. I thank each of these individuals for their commitment. And I must also thank Leah Daniel, the CGLI director, and Cindy Odom, who is the Chief Community Impact Officer at the Community Foundation, for always bringing good people to the table and creating opportunities for partnerships for the betterment of our community. Despite the challenges of this year, CGLI remains committed to cultivating positive change in the lives of trailblazing youth of color in Western New York. We do this through providing access to civic leaders, educational and cultural experiences, and philanthropists of color. During this time of ever-growing need, the council moved quickly to provide laptops and other important supplies to support students in grades kindergarten through college. We also provided personal protective equipment to organizations serving our youth on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis. We conducted 2 listening sessions in June for our young people to allow them to have an open and honest conversation about what they have been experiencing during the dual pandemics of COVID-19 and racial injustices. Their participation during the listening sessions advanced our understanding of how to support the youth of color in our area during these uncertain times. 2020 has been a year like we have never experienced before, and I'm afraid it's not over yet. But despite all the challenges and obstacles, we are all still showing up every day with the determination and compassion to keep making a difference. I want you to know how deeply I appreciate your efforts and your continued support of those in our community who are in need. I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you have done and will continue to do. And now it's time to officially begin the CGLI 2020 Pay It Forward Award ceremony, and we will acknowledge our first honorees. The first of our honorees is 20-year-old Zandra Cunningham. Zandra has been recognized by Entrepreneur Magazine as one of the youngest millionaires in America. Her fascination with entrepreneurship began when she was 9 years old and has now grown into a full line of plant-based skincare that is sold at Target, Wegmans, and Whole Foods. Zandra has grown her product, which is appropriately named Zandra, from a kitchen table hobby into an international brand. She is the youngest individual to graduate from the All-State Minority and Women Entrepreneur Program at the University of Buffalo, and she is a member of the National Association of Women Business Owners. As a TEDx speaker, Zandra is a recognized entrepreneur due to her work in the Buffalo community and beyond. She has been featured on several news outlets, and among them are Black Enterprise, 17 Magazine, Teen Boss, Forbes, USA Today, Nickelodeon, and The Today Show. Zandra has built a brand that gives back by donating up to 10% of all net profits to support girls' education. She also teaches classes on entrepreneurship and advises youth and adults on how they too can get started early building their dreams. We are all so proud of you, Zandra. Congratulations on all that you have accomplished and have yet to do as you continue to pay it forward. The next 2020 Pay It Forward Award recipient is Tommy McClam. Tommy was born and raised in Buffalo, New York. He received his formal education in the Buffalo public school system and went on to graduate from Damon College with a bachelor's degree. Tommy completed the Harvard Kennedy School's Leadership, Organizing, and Action executive program. And he has also successfully completed numerous courses in mentoring, youth leadership, and organizational development. Tommy is currently the Say Yes Buffalo director of the Boys and Men of Color Initiative, where he oversees a citywide coalition aimed at accelerating positive outcomes for boys and young men of color across the cradle to career continuum. He is an ordained pastor and has spent more than 20 years in the faith community, where he is involved with youth ministry and development. Tommy's work with young people, along with his commitment to the community, have allowed him to better understand the challenges that many of our poor and underserved youth experience in the educational, employment, housing, and other systems that hinder their success. He has traveled throughout the country presenting motivational and informative seminars and workshops to young people and families. His passion is to see all people strive for excellence and reach their transformative, God-given potential. Tommy is married to his wonderful wife, Elizabeth, and they are the proud parents of a son, Louis, daughter, Daisha, and granddaughter, Layla, who are the joys of their life. Congratulations, Tommy, and thank you for all that you do for the boys and young men of color in our community. Our next 2020 Pay It Forward Award recipient is Daniel Robertson. Daniel is a native of Buffalo, New York, and currently serves as the program manager of the Boys and Men of Color Initiative with Say Yes Buffalo. Over his 7 years with Say Yes Buffalo, Daniel assisted with the progression of the Say Yes summer camps, created and launched the Say Yes Buffalo Scholar Mentoring Program, and worked as a family support specialist. Daniel is the proud father of a beautiful daughter and a product of both Buffalo Public Schools and Turner Carroll High School. He earned a bachelor's degree in early childhood education from the University of Buffalo and a master's degree in organizational leadership from Medaille College. Due to his valuable contributions in the field of youth services and the community, he was recognized by Buffalo Business First as a 30 under 30 honoree and by the Community Action Organization's Education Task Force, also by Mayor Byron W. Brown, Grassroots, and Ballin for a Cause. Daniel's pursuit of academic excellence, professional accomplishments, and insurmountable commitment to educating and supporting youth is evident in all of his endeavors. In his current role, he is now charged with what he refers to as the most challenging and important work of his life, which is improving the life outcomes for boys and young men of color. Alongside his mentor and father figure, Tommy McClam, Daniel is entrusted to promote and elevate the voices of young men, foster narrative change, advocate for policy changes, and build young leaders. Job well done, Daniel, and congratulations to you. Now, let's give these three 2020 Pay It Forward Award recipients some love. You can add a note in the chat, you can stand to your feet, or clap from wherever you are. But please choose one of those three as we congratulate Zandra Cunningham, Tommy McClam, and Daniel Robertson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a real treat. CGLI strongly believes in the talent that exists right here in our community. You've already heard the extraordinary musical talents earlier provided by the Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts. And now we have a performance that involves you, our audience. Please allow me to introduce to you Marquise 10,000 Burton, a spoken word poet, educator, and curator. I now turn the floor over to him for his interactive performance. Marquise?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative for inviting me here tonight. I'm so inspired by the honorees, and it's my privilege to be here tonight. What we're going to do, I'm considered a freestyle poet. So I specialize in freestyling, and this evening I will ask everyone for their help to make this piece of work, to create this piece of work. Below the screen you're watching, there is a question and answer box. So you can take about 30 seconds and type in one word or several words or a phrase about tonight's event, and I will take all of your words and turn them into a poem. So we'll give you about 20 seconds. Any words that pop in your head. All right. Okay. So as you're thinking of those words, I will just create the piece. There's something about leaving an impact, igniting and connecting to the next generation. There are days where we are stumbling and fumbling, but there is something about when we give of ourselves, when we see beyond the situation, when we talk about pay it forward. It is not a sense of karma. It is not trying to sear yourself so you feed it to someone else. It is trying to clean out of the murky lake. It is trying to tell a generation that they are hopeful, try to leave an impact inside their soul. It's led with love. It's saved with a sense of hope. we found our faith building in the ideas of a generation's eyes, and we understood all our shortcomings, saw the times when we didn't have someone in our corner and our backs were against the wall. So we want to be the one to uplift the next, always to pour in, to bring a level of knowledge that wasn't always gifted to a community. So we will go and acquire it, be the champions of it, and pull it in, see the magic and what it feels to be. Give yourself selflessly to the same way your ancestors gave for you to be here now. We learned how to find inspiration in all the moments, so to show the next generation that you are not forgotten, that you are not tossed away, that you still have your stumbling and fumblings, but as long as you have a foundation, and we will be the foundation. When we talk about paying it forward, we talk about sacrifice, we talk about leaving an impact, so when they are in their dark days, they know that someone loves them, that we can always do more, find the confidence in what it is, decide to finally be that trailblazer, to pave that path, to show the next generation that their life matters, that what they decide to do matters, that as long as they still got their head to the sky, and even sometimes when it dies, they can find the inspiration in it. And it's talking about how legacy can be deeper than just, can be this concept that seems so big, but can be as small as having a conversation that walks someone off the ledge, to tell them that they matter and exist in this moment. So when we talk about paying it forward, we talk about setting aside time, providing resources, but most of all, just being there when the next generation doesn't feel like they have anyone else in their corner. So I hope you learn from this award ceremony that each and every one of us can pay it forward.
All right. Wow. I don't know about all of you, but I am speechless. Marquise, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're talented beyond measure, and we appreciate you lending your skills to this event, and we appreciate the effortless way in which you have left us inspired this evening. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Now, let's move forward and recognize the final recipients of the 2020 Pay It Forward Award. Renee Mapp is a native Buffalonian and a proud mother of 2 adult children and 2 grandchildren. She is a member of Ephesus Ministry under the leadership of Pastor Jeff E. Carter and Assistant Pastor Shannon L. Carter, where she is an elder, youth pastor, and one of several praise and worship leaders. After God, the love that Renee has for her children, grandchildren, and students is the reason she strives to be the best at all that she undertakes. Renee is currently pursuing her PhD degree in educational culture, policy, and society at the University at Buffalo. She genuinely loves the work that she is doing today as the Senior Education Specialist and Program Coordinator in the Biomedical Science and Technology Entry Program at UB. Renee is committed to making education available to underrepresented communities who have historically been marginalized within the United States. She serves as the chair for the Anti-Racism and Anti-Bias Training Committee and participates on several statewide committees and organizations whose goals are to assist underserved and overlooked populations. Renee has facilitated reading, writing, and study skills workshops for writers of all ages, including several published authors, master's and PhD students, and songwriters. She also lends her talent to several local organizations, including the Buffalo Federation of Neighborhood Centers, Westminster's Boys and Girls Club, Erie Community College's Educational Opportunity Program, and the Summer Bridge Program. Renee herself has published her own writings, including her first solo novel, Roses for My Rose. She anticipates her next book release in 2022. Congratulations, Renee. You and your accomplishments make us all so proud. The final recipient tonight of the CGLI 2020 Pay It Forward Award is Marilyn Young. Marilyn is the adopted daughter of the late Brinson and Daisy Edrington. She is the proud mother of 3 birth children and 3 bonus children through marriage. She is a very engaged grandmother of 3 and the proud wife of Buffalo's best baker, Mr. Joseph Young. Marilyn has been employed by the government since the age of 18. She began her service when she joined the United States Army. She is a Persian Gulf War veteran, receiving several honors for her service in the Gulf region. Her awards and honors are many and include the Good Conduct Medal, the Bronze Star, and the Southwest Asia Humanitarian Award, the Thursday Morning Mom Award from the Tom Joyner Morning Show, the Alpha Kappa Alpha Community Service Award, the Black Achievers Award, and many more. In 2016, Marilyn was featured in a story published by USA Today about her service in the Gulf region. Marilyn is the former vice chairwoman of the Stop the Violence Coalition, Incorporated. She created a nonprofit, WAVE, which stands for Women Against Violence Everywhere. Through WAVE, she brings professional women together to assist in the fight to help combat youth violence. Marilyn also created a platform for women to share their stories and empower others through the You Don't Know My Story Breakfast Symposium. Each year, this event hosts more than 300 women. Marilyn is a proud member of the Erie County chapter of the Lynx Incorporated, an executive board member of the Young Miss Buffalo pageant, and a member of Elam Christian Fellowship under the leadership of Bishop T.A. Bronner. There is so much more that we could say about Marilyn because she is truly paying it forward in many, many ways. But for now, we just say, congratulations, Marilyn. Thank you for your service to our country, and thank you for all that you do for our community, especially during these unprecedented times. What an impressive group of honorees. One more time, please stand to your feet, post a note in the chat, or give a hand clap to say thank you and congratulations to the CGLI 2020 Pay It Forward Award recipients. They are absolutely amazing. Now we want to give you an opportunity to hear from the 2020 Pay It Award recipients. So let me introduce you to Tanya Staples, a member of the CGLI Council, who will lead the honorees in a panel discussion. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Bonnie. I would also like to say a huge thank you and bravo to the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo. I thank you for the tremendous work that you do in front of and behind the scenes. You are truly a blessing to our community. I'm so excited to be here tonight, and I'm especially eager to lead this part of the event because I get to talk to our honorees. Congratulations, Zandra, Tommy, Daniel, Renee, and Marilyn. So if you would please indulge me for just a short while as I engage in a discussion with the recipients. My first question is for Ms. Zandra. Zandra, you are committed to our community in so many inspiring ways. You have built a business here and have made it a priority to give back and mentor other young entrepreneurs. Please share with us why.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am very excited, and congratulations to all of the other honorees. And to answer your question, it's very and extremely important to me personally to, give back, but also being the CEO of a company that's main goal is to give back makes it even more important. Being a girls' rights advocate, being an activist for education, I feel like it's more of my job to dig deeper into the actual problems and notice, that it's a worldwide, problem, the lack of access to education. But, more importantly, it doesn't take that, that long to look, deep in the community and the city where I'm from. So making sure I dedicate all my resources to, giving back and making sure other girls, other youth know that, giving them the opportunity to get the access to education. That's why I created my not-for-profit through my foundation, the Zandra TLC Foundation. And that's where we do a lot of, involvement in the community, doing workshops about entrepreneurship and noticing that, a lot of the Buffalo public schools and just school and in general, entrepreneurship isn't even taught, so giving them another outlet of what their life could look like. Because entrepreneurship, for me, it was hard to learn about that because there wasn't a lot of access for me. So I want to pave the way for other kids so they know that even if entrepreneurship isn't for them, at least they had the opportunity to experience it and say, it's not for me. So that's why it's really important to me to give everybody an equal opportunity to say yes or no.
Thank you, Zandra. Mr. Tommy McClam, are you ready for my question?
Ready.
I'm sure there are many answers that you might give, but based on your work at Say Yes Buffalo on the Boys and Men of Color initiative, what is your greatest hope for our young men of color, given where we are as a community right now?
Thank you, Tanya. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to CGLI for the work they do and also the award, and say congratulations to all the honorees. To answer that question, I would say, for me, I would like to see the young men kind of activate and acknowledge their God-given greatness. Just begin to discover their purpose and also embracing their culture and ethnicity, but being able to transcend it beyond their limitations of color. That the young men of color see themselves as the solution to kind of strategic policies and changes in our community, but not just our community, but in the country. And I believe that they see themselves as world changers, and that they would understand kind of the strength, the power, the capacity, the greatness that already resides inside of them, and understanding that power that they have can help them love and nurture and heal our community from the inside out. And kind of finally speaking, I would like to say that from a friend of mine, Sean Dove, who is the CEO for the Campaign for Black Male Achievement, he says all the time that our men of color would understand that they don't have to wait for the Calvary, that they are the Calvary, and that the greatness and solution for our community resides in them. And once our young men get it, they understand that now we're the change agents for our community.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Mr. Daniel Robertson, there's an adage that I think fits this evening quite well. And that is, as we excel in our career, we are meant to lift as we climb. With that in mind, who or whom would you say helped to lift you in your life and ultimately assist in all the incredible work that you are now able to pay it forward with Say Yes Buffalo as part of the Men and Boys of Color initiative?
Wow, Tanya, you're going to get me in trouble with a response to this question because there's quite a few people. But first and foremost, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight, and just an honor to share the stage with the other honorees that are here tonight. I think first and foremost, I would have to say my mom and my grandmother, because they kind of, my mom pushed me out, my grandmother kept me moving. And, in my teenage years, I had a couple mentors, Will Palmer being one of them. But I would say, in my professional career, I would definitely give nods and kudos to Nadia Moore and the gentleman I'm actually sharing the stage with tonight, Mr. Tommy McClam. I can't say enough about what Tommy has done for me just personally and just the man that he is, the father that he is, the mentor, the friend. You know, we have a relationship that tears on several different levels, and he can be my supervisor 1 minute and be dad the next minute. So, you know, I just really appreciate Tommy. And, you know, if our community had, you know, another 100 Tommy McClams, the young men in our community would, you know, they're destined for greatness, but it would be a fast track if we had more Tommys in the world. So big kudos to Tommy, and just, you know, keep doing what you do, big dog. Love you, man.
Yeah, love you back.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. It's your turn, Miss Renee Mapp. And here's my question for you. As evidenced by your introduction, you are constantly finding new ways to give back to communities of color. What advice would you give to a young person who's trying to find their path, but also still give back?
So first, thank you, CGLI and everyone here. Daniel, that's my big brother. I repeat what you say about Tommy. I'm honored to be here this evening. What might I get to give back? So young people, we do not live in silos amongst ourselves, meaning we are a part of community, even though we physically right now are not able to be out and about as we would have normally been. We still are part of community, be it your family, be it your neighborhood, be it your church, or whatever it might be. And so as you're going along your path, you have to remember that you're not alone. And as you're going about, you need to keep your eyes moving all the time and looking at what's around you. They say keep your head on a swivel. So always be looking at ways that you can give back that are around you. And some of those things are small things. People always want to do the big thing, but those small things are really important, and they add up and they become huge. So we've given kudos to Tommy. What are some things that you can do right now? You can be a mentor. You can be a tutor. We have everyone basically is still at home going to school virtually. So there might be some single parents in your neighborhood that you're aware of. Tutor virtually. There may be someone in your neighborhood, some elderly folks who you know aren't able to get about like they usually would. You're going out to do groceries. Drop a note on their door. I'm going to go grocery Saturday. Is there anything I might be able to pick up for you? Mowing someone's lawn. Those little things. It's not just about money. Pick up your phone and give a call. That's a way to give back. And you don't know how far that's going to go. And I tell my young people all the time, everything that you do today is preparing you for your tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Paths that you are crossing, those lives that have impacted you and imparted into you, you need to be doing the same thing to others. And it's not about what you're going to get back, but you do get some things in return, because giving, it makes you feel great. But think about how it makes others feel as well. So be mindful as where you're going, everything around you. You can give back in small ways.
Thank you, Renee.
Absolutely.
My final question is for Mrs. Marilyn Young. Marilyn, you clearly understand the power of storytelling in changing the narrative. What advice do you have for those who need to be encouraged to tell their story?
First of all, thanks again, Tanya and everyone, the CGLI for this award, and to all the other honorees on the panel, congratulations. And my advice to that I would give to someone who would want to tell their story is that, first of all, there's power, there's healing in your story, and there are specific people who are assigned to your story. Like, you may feel like, oh, I don't want to share like the good, the bad, and the ugly, but those are the things some people need to hear, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that they too can know that, hey, if you made it through this here, I can make it through the next end of the journey. And so when I think about being a marriage and family therapist, one of the things we studied was narrative therapy. And then thinking about narrative therapy, one of the goals is to get the client to re-author their stories. So although you may have felt like, hey, I started here, this is the bad beginning, it's horrible, no one wants to hear this, you don't have to stay there. You can rewrite your story. So I urge you to share. There's growth in it, there's healing, and there's power in sharing your stories to help the next generation as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mapp. I really appreciated hearing all of your authentic and powerful responses. And thank you again to all of our 2020 Pay It Forward honorees. You are each so incredibly talented. You give so much of yourself to your work and to all the people you touch through your work. Thank you for your contributions. To close out the night, I invite CGLI Council Member Kwanzaa Humphrey to share a few final thoughts on the importance of paying it forward. Kwanzaa?
Thank you, Tanya. I'm sure you wanted to keep talking to each of these amazing honorees because they are all just so impressive. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Dr. Benita Duran for her leadership and for doing an excellent job presenting the 2020 Pay It Forward honorees. As Tanya said, my name is Kwanzaa Humphrey. It is my true pleasure to serve on the CGLI Council and work with this incredibly dynamic team. The Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative is committed to cultivating positive change in the lives of trailblazing youth of color in Western New York. Even during this time of ever-growing need, the CGLI team continues to promote endowment giving as a sustainable means of inspiring philanthropy for and within communities of color. But the needs of our community continue to change. From access to technology and other unforeseen hardships that may arise during this unprecedented time, we need your help to continue our work. Will you please help us continue the work that's underway and plant the seeds for future Pay It Forward Award honorees? If you are interested in making a tax-deductible donation, please click the donate link at the top of your screen and select Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative under the donation details section of the form. While you make your contributions, we invite you to enjoy this photo montage of the Communities of Giving Legacy Initiative work in action.
This is Cam. Thank you for providing me with this computer. Now I can work on my schoolwork and focus on my trade. Thank you.
This is Nasim Lewis. Thank you for my new Chromebook. I can't wait to do music, beats, schoolwork, all types of stuff.
Wow, what a beautiful video. Thank you for all your contributions. You may also donate after tonight's event at the URL that will display after. I say thank you to everyone who contributed to tonight's event. We must say thanks to the Buffalo Center for Arts and Technology, which is short for BCAT, for providing the musical performance that played during the photo montage. We want to thank the Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts, Marquise 10,000 Burton for that inspiring poetic performance, and BAV Services for serving as technical support for tonight's event. To our 2020 Pay It Forward Award honorees, we say press on. You are true trailblazers, and we are so proud to know you and witness all that you are doing in our community. Thank you to Tanya Staples for leading our panel discussion, and to all of you watching from home. We hope that you left this evening inspired and feeling good about the positive change underway in our community. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe and healthy. Good night, everyone.